Welcome into the Coach Quad Sanders Show. Michael Westbrook along with head coach Quad Sanders. As we prepare for the playoffs, it's that time of year, and after the opening round bye, Bryant is now on to host Rogers. We'll talk about them in just a moment, but we get the chance to go back, Coach. We get to retrace the Conway game and talk about that for a little bit. I know you described it as just another game. That's a nice, polite way of putting it, but it was the biggest game of the year now that it's over. Huge crowd, almost 8,000 people there. Bryant comes away with a double-digit victory. The home side, or I guess our visiting sidelines, was just crazy and wild and fun all night. That's my vantage point of it. What was it like for you down on the sidelines?
It was definitely an exciting game from start to finish. You know, they jumped out to an early lead, and our guys stayed with it and fought back, and we kind of took control of it late in the game. But it was definitely an exciting game, as expected.
What was going through your mind when Donovan Malo had those two big run plays for touchdowns and it was 14-0?
You better figure out how to stop the quarterback from running the ball. If not, it's going to be a long night. Nothing much more than that. You know, it's the first time he's ever hurt us with his legs. We knew he could run. We just didn't know if he would run.
Yeah.
And once we kind of figured that out on defense, I think our guys settled in a little bit and we kind of got some stops.
Coach, how do you sum up the way your offense played? I mean, you take on a team in Conway who had basically been ranked number one throughout the year after you guys lost to Parkview, and you hang more than half 100 on them is the way I described it. I mean, that was really a great offensive showing, and do you feel like the offense is where it needs to be going into the playoffs?
There's always some things to correct, but I think as far as playing consistent, being able to pass and run the ball, I think we've done a great job with that over the last few games, and it's continuing to grow, and that's what we got to continue to do to grow through the next 3 games if we can make it to 3 games. You know, we got this on Friday where it's going to be the same. You know, these guys are, I think, the number 1 defense up north.
Yeah.
So we got to be able to put together running drives and passing drives. We got to be able to do a combination of both.
What was the mood like last week during the off week, coming off the Conway win and knowing you didn't have a game?
It's definitely good to know you can get well. The mood is still the same. We're still in playoff mode. Got to look to refocus a little bit after a win that kind of, you know, I know the kids were excited about it. You know, parents are more excited than the kids from that aspect. But it's something where we can't get too high or too low on for sure. It's not the big one. You know, this game is bigger than that one.
Right.
So that's what we got to focus on.
Well, and just one final thing here. We'll put a bow on that. But it is the 5th consecutive 7A Central Championship for the Bryant Hornets. Your first as the head coach, and so while I know that is behind you and it's not as big as the game this week, it still is a big deal for Bryant. And so how do you kind of sum up knowing that you were the Central champions again, you got that first seed and the opening round bye?
It's easy. You got a job to finish. I think there's great expectations come with being conference champs now. You know, the expectation is if you're conference champs, then we expect you to go win it all, you know. And I think that's what the whole Central Division would like. You know, if not their team, then the team that won it from the Central.
No real surprises in the opening round. It looked like maybe a team like Fort Smith Northside played their game pretty close. But you guys have Rogers. They won 44-6 over North Little Rock. You said they've got a good defense. And so I kind of thought maybe North Little Rock might score more than 6. That shocked me a little bit. But what takeaways did you have from that game?
Man, they're explosive on offense as well. They got big play guys. They're not afraid to take a shot downfield. They do enough on defense to kind of confuse you a little bit. So we got to be spot on who we're trying to block and who we got to get to and where our routes need to be. And the quarterback needs to know where he's going to throw the ball. But they do a lot of things on defense to kind of confuse you. So that's what on offense we just got to be consistent and make sure we're doing defense. And you better stay over the top because they'll take some shots. You know, if you go back to the game last year. Well, we got out on them pretty early, but they took a lot of shots often and early.
Yeah.
You know, and we were able to stop them, but it'll be more of the same.
They're that team in the West that's right there. I mean, their games were very close against the top-tier teams. So for them, this is kind of like their championship to come here to Bryant. They want to beat you guys. Do you explain any of that to the students, to the athletes, or did you just kind of go about your business?
You know, what I explained to the guys is this is a team that's been growing for the last 3 or 4 years. You know, you look, I think it went 6-9-9.
Right.
You know, there's their total of wins. You know, before that, they weren't even in the conversation. So this group of sophomores, all they know is winning. Well, this group of seniors they got now, all they know is winning. So now for them, it's just about taking the next step and getting over the hump, whatever the hump may be, whether it's Bryant, Bentonville, Fayetteville, whatever. You know, when you look at those games, they played Fayetteville within 7, and then they played Bentonville within 7.
Yep.
You know, I think somebody said their total is they're 17 points from being undefeated. Whatever that means, it means a lot to them. You know, and that's how they look at it.
So you mentioned trying to get healthy, trying to get well during the off week. We know that the team's been banged up this year. Coach, really, it's been impressive what you guys have been able to do considering the number of injuries. Where is everybody at health-wise? Are there going to be some guys back that we've been waiting on maybe?
There's a chance that we get some guys back this week, and it's kind of wait and see what role and how practice plays out for them. But there is a chance that we get some guys back, and hopefully, if we get those guys back, they can make an impact, the impact that everybody's hoping for.
So just lastly, what's the key to victory here at home in the first playoff game at home here this year?
On offense, we need to establish the run, and on defense, we need to get off the field on third down.
Okay, Coach. Well, thanks for the time. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
All right, we've got plenty to come on the pregame show, so stay with us. Kickoff is right around the corner. It's Rogers and Bryant in the second round of the playoffs.